maybe. There's a lot of potential here coming out from nouns here in game 2, and I like to see, you know,
Prepare
Primal
for
Beast
battle.
core, one of my favorites.
Yeah. I think there's some late game shenanigans that can happen here as well. I mean, you rarely hit level 25 nowadays on the IO, but if let's theorize a ultra late game, you get the 25 talent on Husky on the left side for attacking tethered allies target, and then you just link up onto Gunner, and then you're in for a really good time if he does go for the little shredder multi shots and talents. So
Oh my
there's
god, I forgot
some
about
late
that.
game shenanigans there. It's not like we're gonna hit that, but you know that would be pretty funny if we reach that point in a 60-minute game. That would be hilarious.
I love Moo. He's actually just so funny. Good luck again. No Toxico, please. Good stuff. These guys are having a really funny
30
talk
seconds to
in the
battle.
lobby before the game started. You know, talking about anime and Sania and Moo. You know, these guys they're good friends.
Yep. I just realized after like I don't know how many months I've had that setting on, but I turned off chat from non-friends and teammates. So I didn't realize it would affect lobbies. I literally only saw Gunnar say that DBZ and Naruto were too violent for him to watch. It's like, what the hell is he saying out of context?
It's like, where
That
does that
that
come
does
from?
exactly. It's like, all right, my chat settings were blocked for all chat. And it's like it affects lobby. So, there you go. If ever you were in a lobby and I was there and you said hi and I never said hi, that is on me. I do apologize, but the chances of anyone caring are very low. So, I'm ahead of myself here, Ricky.
I love it. I love it. I also love the fact that Lelis is going to sit in these trees in the top lane here as long as he makes it into the trees in time, and he doesn't. So he is kind of showing himself. I mean, maybe they're anticipating a lane swap, or that maybe they think Husky isn't here. It's hard to say, but bottom lane, Moo is alone.
I don't think that's too bad. They will just TP out the they will TP out the IO actually. Husky's gonna be sticking around with Primal Beast, which again it's an interesting combination. I think this is actually a bit underrated. You tether up, you know, the added HP on Moo, the added regen is pretty good on the Primal Beast, and you think about that bloody overcharge, the spell amp on Trample, it all comes together. You know,
That
added
and
spell damage. There you go.
attack speed is too. You know, if he doesn't have trample running, Primal Beast hits really hard.
Oh yeah. This could be fun. This could be a combination that I personally haven't seen, but I am excited to see that level 3 to come out here for now.
Yeah, they do need to be careful though, is they are taking a lot of damage here, and you know, the minus armor from the TA stacking up, basically just doing pure damage on over to the Primal Beast here. No points in that uproar at the moment, which I kind of agree with you. I think you probably need trample it too, especially if you want to try and find kills on the disruptor. But Insania is going to hit level 2 first, so now it becomes a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, it is hard to kind of fully commit as well, just because of the glimpse back. Like, you don't need to glimpse the IO at all. You can always just focus in onto Moo. So, just fully committing onto the TA is a lot tougher there. We'll see as the levels go up. As I think the mid lane is the one lane that we haven't really taken a peek at. It's going a lot better for Gunner. And the Snapfire matchup against Ember feels a lot better now in comparison to his SF matchup on the LD. This isn't by any means a tough lane for Ember though. Again, with the level 6 threat to remove, it's kind of already.
Dude, they got him. Oh, he goes invis.
Ooh.
Dude, no way. He's actually gonna live. The glimpse now brings Moo exceptionally low. Does be forced to pop the uproar, but Mickey with that meld surviving just long enough. They do have another onslaught, and they are healing up quite a bit. And that's the thing, right? With the IO lanes is you have a lot of sustain. He's got the headdress picked up. Tosses the tangos as well.
Yeah, it's smooth sailing for Moo. Like, he drops down low, it doesn't matter. You just wait a few seconds, you're back to full. And you can try again onto Mika when you see that opportunity rise up. So, looking much stronger for now from the laning phase, which again was the one big shortcoming from their last draft. Their lanes were, can't sugarcoat it, atrocious.
Yeah.
They were pretty atrocious, but now they've corrected, and we've got a game on hand.
Absolutely. I would really like to see an early Vanguard come out on this Primal Beast just to be able to, you know, tank up some damage early. It's either that or he goes just first item phase boots. He needs armor or physical damage reduction in some capacity here. So we'll see what he ends up doing. Top lane, though, we're getting a little bit more aggressive up here as Lelis. Needs to be careful. He's got a salve though, so he's going to heal himself back up. And Yamsun's boots are being delivered, so they could try and make a play with these. And looks like that's exactly what they're going to try and do. Start sapping a lot of the damage here from Zai, but he's got 7 wand charges, and Yamsun's starting to fall low. The stolen damage isn't enough. The first blood goes the way of Yamsun, as now he's got to get away from Boxy, who's trying to finish him off, and he will be able to. Well, there's no snowball available, so it is just a 1-for-1 trade, but I mean, that's what you're wanting out of this safe lane Razor, at least.
They managed to get it done. The combination of Razor and Tusk, once you do commit, is pretty damn strong. Like, Static Link for the extra hits that comes out from while you're stealing damage with a tag team, pretty devastating, and you don't tend to want to go for early Ghost Shrouds for Necro. So you're always going to be a bit vulnerable to that physical output. And now, again, coming out with stronger lanes, finding some kills. They're trying bot.
He's got Onslaught available, but put in the cage, so well played by Insania. Manages to get that kinetic field down immediately. I mean, that's the thing. Like, you have to be able to save that kinetic field for that Onslaught, or else you're dead. So really good play.
Cut it off. Buying Nika a little bit of space to farm. He is having a decent lane coming out. Like, he's not being slowed down too much in the build-up. But Mu is also farming, which, again, we saw last game as well.
Lane, rotation from Boxy. Gunner, is he going to be able to get out in time?
Ooh.
Very close. And bottom lane, you don't... Yeah, you can't stay on top of him. Nice glimpse save there from Insania. All right, really well done.
I mean, you've got level 2 glimpse. The cooldown's a little bit more forgiving now. So you've always got a save on hand for Nika. Again, you're not stopping Mu from farming. Mu isn't stopping Nika from farming as well. So you're not really able to put a hold on that TA's build up into whatever she needs for early farm. Maybe the Dragonlance comes out, as they do find Lullis.
He dove so far to try and bring down Zai, but he's got this casual Windblaze to just try and outrun these heroes, and it worked. It actually just worked. This Razor, without a point in Storm Surge yet, is super slow.
And Zai also gets a value point in the Shroud now, not going for the 2-0-2 that we saw last time. So he has a way of stalling out when he is jumped, and that does give him enough time to just bail out, get that distance away from the side of Nouns. A lot of back and forth, a little bit slower in the laning phase, but it's down to having much more solid lanes for Nouns as well. And they're going to try again top, it looks like.
They are indeed. Oh my god, Yamsun took a ton of damage. Snowball is there to save him, and a rotation in from Nisha. Can they bring down Zai in time? It's going to be a trade, but Yamsun falls first, so loses out on that XP, and Nisha will run him down with a haste rune. So once again, just good heads-up plays here from Liquid, as they're just paying a lot of attention as bottom lane Husky just getting owned by Mickey and trying to hide in the trees for now. The meld about to wear off, but looks like he's actually out, and Mu does not manage to finish off Insania, but they do both escape on the supports.
Really nice jukes coming out there from Husky, dancing around the tree line. Just saves himself there. I think overall you're still pretty damn happy on Liquido. Nisha with a rune control, managing to make magic work. No one's able to collapse onto Gunner's lane, and Gunner can't leave his lane either without rune control, without a haste coming out his way. So he's just forced to kind of play up here. They will smoke though. Lullis and Gunner trying to go up top. Kisses are ready to try to make a play.
They realize like they can't allow this Necro to have a game again, it seems, and whether or not this smoke is going to be successful, we'll find out. Lullis does have the snowball here. And he's still playing in fog for the moment as Yamsun's going to go in. The cookie is there. The Mortimer kisses immediately will be enough to find the kill. And Boxy, beautiful shards from Lullis. Actually forces him back in, and double kill for Gunner.
Big. Finally get some activity on the board with this Snapfire. He's working towards his Ags build up here as well.
Uh-oh, Mickey bottom. He's alone. They're going to go on him. The trample, a ton of damage. That spell amp like you talked about. The onslaught will find the kill.
That
Disrupt
is...
their left, and that's all they needed.
That is tasty, man. Like, overcharged trample. It is so much damage. With the phase boots up on Mu as well, they can just keep that run going. Signs of life coming out for now, and again in this game too, looking good so far coming out of the laning phase. Mu #1 in that fort, but Gunner not too far behind. Not massive leads by any means. It's not like Liquid's completely out, but you've got some good momentum to build on here for Nouns. And you've got some good timings to hit. Like, you were still looking for that level 6 on Lullis.
Radiant's
You're
bottom
still looking for
tower
the
is under
relocates ready
attack.
on Husky as well. They're trying to punish, but with the added armor and Moo, it's hard to kind of force them down now with the phase boots up.
Yeah, it's the thing is like it's just a much better start to the game for Nouns as opposed to game one. I think Liquid are still very happy with how things are going. I don't think they're really struggling too much. It's mostly just Zai's Necropost that is struggling at the moment. Boxy got a ton of net worth out of the multiple kills in the top lane, so you do have this Rubik that does have a lot that he can offer. And top lane does have a snowball. He could use it to juke on over to the mid. Oh, instead he's just gonna stun Nisha in place, and Lilith will get ran down. I thought for sure he was gonna go over to Boxy or something near his tower. Yamsa now is in trouble. Pops the Eye of the Storm, gonna try and just hold his ground. He has 14 wand charges to play with. His Zai takes a ton of damage as well. And Nisha getting zapped underneath the tower. He pops the wand. He does not have enough to survive. There's gonna be the Reaper Scythe as Gunner's TP comes in. The shotgun to the face gets the kill. Does have Mortimer Kisses, but they're on top of him. He needs help and fast. Bottom lane, meanwhile, Pulverize is there. It's not enough. They need extra heroes. It's going to be Lelis. Mortimer Kisses on the Nisha. He's got remnants to play with. The snowball will not connect. And Boxy underneath the tower. Dude, there's just two fights happening. Bottom lane, Insania is getting chased down as well. So they will end up cleaning up a couple kills here on the side of Nouns. They don't get the big ones. Nikke as well as Nisha managed to survive.
Really hard to pin down that Ember Spirit this game. That's the one thing that you're gonna have a hard time with here on Nouns, unless you can again stack like the snowball, the punch, and the pulverize all at once on that one hero. A lot harder to do than you'd expect. I think it's just really good at Moods coming out with a strong lane. Look at Mika's farm. He is a little bit behind. I mean, he's still ahead of the Razor, but it's not the Razor you have to be worried about really in this arms race. It is kind of just trying to be on top of everyone else, hitting that good timing on your Dragonlance, into the Deso, into BKB. And all that's just going to be a little bit slower, which gives Nouns some time, although there is a smoke play coming out here with Boxy and Nisha.
We're really looking for that courier, doesn't manage to find it, but yeah, you're right. I mean, they're in so deep here, is they're just going to initiate right onto the IO, and Moo is stuck inside these trees. He has an onslaught with the silence. Insania's got his level 6. They'll use the glimpse to pull him right back in. Uproar maybe to keep him alive. Pops the trample. Does he have the damage? Absolutely not. They get the kill. Just distracted by the courier. And then all the while, Liquid bringing the reinforcements.
Managed to make them melt, but they know the commitment came out bot. Gunner's up top here. No kisses.
And the reload as well. Okay, so they're going to try and find themselves a kill here. Husky showing up. They don't have Mortimer Kisses, but they've got the Walrus Punch. They will find the kill. In mid lane, a return potentially of their own is Razor in a lot of trouble. And Boxy's burning him down with his own Eye of the Storm. Does manage to get the plasma field off the last second. He turns his attention onto Nisha. He's got an onslaught available if he manages to stay on top of the Ember, but he doesn't. Jukes the wrong way.
Radiant's top tower
So he will just TP on home, drops the remnants mid, and he's going to be fine.
So much back and forth. You're at the point where Liquid can start to make some of these plays as well, but the response from Nouns is equalizing. They're managing to fight back. They're getting some key kills themselves. They're reaching this point where Gunner will have his hags up. So the Gobble Up plays on top, maybe just tossing the Primal Beast out front. That could be one way to kind of get these fights started if you want to jump onto Nisha. It's probably your biggest concern right now. And also just speeds up the farm of Gunner. You just gobble up, clear out the creep wave, keep farming jungle. Pretty safe plays for the snap bar to keep that scaling up. Still have to kind of watch their mid is being forced in. Just with Nisha alone, he's fairly confident in how slippery he can be.
Yeah, I do really worry for Yamsun on this Razor, though, is he does need a lot to get back in this game. And he's actually queued up a Midas into a BKB, realizing that he just does not have an area on the map where he feels safe. He has 4 deaths at the moment, and the only thing he can really do is just jungle, right? Like, he has to just farm jungle camps with this Eye of the Storm, try and get back into this game, because he has to be able to stay in front of the TA. Right? That's one of the things we talked about in the draft. It's like like Razor into TA is usually pretty Razor favored in the late game, as long as you have the items. You need the armor, and you need the BKB. So it's going to be a minute before he gets there. I don't know how you feel about the Midas, though.
I'm not the biggest fan of the late pickup, but I'm guessing at this point Nouns kind of expect to go for a longer game. Again, You do have scaling with a Razor. You've got scaling with your Snapfire here as well. And even your Primal Beast gets some utility towards the late game. So you don't mind that too much. I think it's kind of scary to go late game up against Liquid's lineup, though. Like, TA late game does still feel overwhelming, but you've got the Razor to foil it. But the Necrophos can be a surprisingly good scaler in the late game. Like, when he hits something like his 25, or just hits this time with Shard and a lot of utility, like Lotus Orb being up, a lot of Aura items being up, the Necrophos kind of complicates this as well. So I get why Razor just doesn't flash farm that well, and you kind of need to just accelerate as much as you can, but it can make it a little bit painful. And we are getting the 180 pink player. It's more every time. He's a monster. Moo.
I feel so bad for Lelis. He's been playing this whole tournament on like pretty severe ping and even packet loss at sometimes, and he still looks so good. So imagine then, if he's able to make it to a LAN actually and not have these issues, this guy might be unstoppable. We'll see. The G is out from nouns, so we should be back underway here in a moment. Bottom lane, they should be able to grab this tier 1 tower. Doesn't look like Liquid are all too worried about giving this one up.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Not the most meaningful tower to hold on to, especially while they're pushing down mid anyway.
Yeah. I mean, Lelis is here on the Tusk. Maybe they can find an opening, but the question is, who do you grab? Nisha is too slippery here on this Ember Spirit, and they're actually trying to wrap around and look for both of the, Moo Husky combos. Trap number 1 comes out, trap number 2 gets popped as well. They get the stun for the moment. Static Storm plus the kinetic field is there, and Husky tries to get away, ends up going right on into it as well. Primal Beast just all melting. Too much control. Just this playing around Static Storm on that little walkway is just way too much. Gunnar does get himself a kill, but he's trapped in as well. Does manage to get over the kinetic field for a moment, but the glimpse is still available. Mega kill now for Nisha as it's a 4-for-1.
They commit too hard on that chase. Like these traps from TA, intercepting that movement from nouns, and just kind of getting greedy. Like trying to collapse onto that area, trying to kill off all these heroes. They play really well in the pickoff game, but when it comes down to these big team fights, and you're playing into the Static Storm, until some BKBs are up, Insania's always going to be just devastating these fights.
Yeah, the trap placement from Mikko is actually just so good. Like getting 2 heroes stuck in those traps back to back, and then obviously just sets up the easiest Static Storm and kinetic field you could ever ask for. And they get the mid tower, right? Like this is what they were aiming for in the first place. Ends up being a really nice win there for them. They finally cracked themselves a little bit of a net worth advantage here in this game. Still pretty close overall though. Zai's definitely struggling a little bit more on this offlane Necro than what we saw last game. Does have the boot to travel, which is a little bit of a greedy build off of the offlaner considering he hasn't been having a great time, but combined with the Wind Blaze, he's pretty fast, and maybe that's his plan, just run away. If they decide to go on him.
Just run, or it helps them chase down as well if they see the opportunity to play with that sight. And kind of just show up in these fights as well. I think that's one thing. Like Zai can kind of respond if a move is made with a relocate somehow, and the creep wave is nearby. He's got some angles to take. Side of nouns, a little bit of a smoke, not going to lead to too much. Just go back to farming. Yamson has switched out towards the BKB here, Ricky. Not going to go for the Midas. Understands that he has to take some activity in this game. And Gunnar did manage to get his axe from the last fight, but I don't think they're really in a position to try to gobble up anyone as Liquid run around here.
Yeah, they will find Lelis. Boxy with the level 4 stolen plasma field is a lot of damage. That'll be a freebie going the way of Nisha. The question is, do they go up onto the high ground? They're going to try. The Pulverize is there. He's going to steal it on the Rubik. And Primal Beast is in a lot of problems. Taking so much damage here as a Mortimer Kiss is coming through as well. Nisha has a Remnant still out and available. And we'll just reload to the base. And Gunnar needs to run. I mean, could you go for a Gobble Up play here to try and turn this? They have a decent ward that's placed aggressively, but everyone on Liquid is here. It looks like Husky will just give his life. They're looking for Moo. They found him. There's going to be the glimpse. And the Reaper Scythe, but the Gobble up the save from Gunner. Cheeky stuff
Oh.
from him, and Sai takes a decent chunk of damage as well. The kinetic field is there, they're silencing him up. Moo tries to get taken, he ends up pulling him with a snowball. Nicely done from Lelis. It's a good trade overall, those you take down the Snapfire, and they can't stop Boxy's TP. Nisha's still here quite healthy. He gets the Slight Chains, traps the Tusk as well. Snowball is available from him. They can chain stun him down, but Nisha up onto the high ground, and comes the Primal Beast. Moo with the Pulverize. Insania with the Glimpse will save him, but it's not in time. They manage to take down Nisha. Insania will fall as well as Mickey grabs the kill onto the Tusk. Super scrappy engagements from both teams. Ends up being fairly even as it's a 3 for 3.
It feels a little bit better for Nouns, just finding those kills, finally putting a dent on Nisha. And it's a pretty big streak to get out from him. Like, you did sacrifice Gunner, but overall you just, sacrifice your 2 supports for 2 cores, plus 1 core on the side of Nouns. So you're overall more than satisfied. You finally get that BKB up on Moo, so this is where the game kind of feels a lot better. And look at Moo. He's got the phase boots. You know what? He's gonna go for the Boots of Bearing. So the double boots play, I don't think it really matters. Because it's really just for the drum sack. If you don't think of that boot as anything but
the Gobble up, Pulverize. It didn't actually connect on the stun, but he's got the chain stun. He knows the tech. Yeah, a lot of people, I think, that play Primal Beast don't know about this, but the Onslaught can chain stun out of Pulverize if you use it correctly.
Dire's middle
just
tower is under attack.
get that additional control out. Maybe things you learn here if you are viewing and didn't understand that. I actually didn't know that, but it does do that just a little bit. So you can kind of just add on top. And, well, now they keep this game even. Like, their biggest hurting point right now is probably Yamsen's farm. Would want it to be a little bit higher, as Mika is just kind of allowed to AFK this entire game. Has the Deso up with the Dragonlance. The big
They
Tinker
found
Liquid now
Gunner.
is all.
Boxy will lock him in. They just dropped the Static Storm on him as well. Nice find there. They reload for this. Moo's coming in big. There's going to be a real good Pulverize on top. He has a BKB if he wants. Doesn't even drop it yet, but he will respond with it now as the Trample's just running down Zai. One more auto attack will finish the kill. They've lost the... they've lost Snapfire once again for the Necrophos, but you just lose the IO, and Nisho's not done. He's shaking the Primal Beast down. The Slight Chains are there. Yamsun can't really offer much to this fight either, so a good turnaround from Liquid. The Glimpse on Lelis doesn't have the Snowball to get away. Ends up being a 4 for 1.
All right, and that's what Liquid needs. They need to clean up, take some kills. This does allow them to maybe consider the Roshan. Respawns are fairly quick, but you're kind of set for it with Mika's farm. You kind of want to play with that Desolator and just take Roche, maybe start the gun for tier 2 still. And play it a little bit safer, or not necessarily safer, but play it a bit greedier by farming up instead. And Nouns, it looked decent. They didn't really connect with their double BKBs. I think this is the point where you have to expect Yamsen to show up a little bit more. Granted, without armor, he will melt to the TA.
Yeah.
Needs a little bit more durability on that Razor before anything else
Speaking
here.
of TA, in some trouble. The Mortimer Kisses are there to actually get him out. Let's see if they can actually bring down the TA. The Sentry gets dropped. Probably still no BKB, but the Trample just burning through those refraction stacks. There's the Pulverize, and Yamsun trying to just chase down Insania on the backside. Husky just giving a lot of move speed to play around as Ellis comes in, throws the Walrus Punch, the Sacrificial Lamb for... manages to get out on the Rubik, so nice turnaround there, but 2 kills going the way of Nouns. Trying to equalize this. This game's been a bloodbath, man. We are almost 40 kills at the 20-minute mark.
Yeah, it's been non-stop, and I'm enjoying what I'm seeing. It's Nouns just playing this hyper-aggressive game now. And Nisha does have the DD. They played poke here with a trap
the
slow.
fort. They fort up the creep wave, and the Reaper Scythe comes through. Gunner in so much trouble now. Telekinesis connects, and Sleight of Fist, double damage on the Ember. Moo now needs to run. He's got no charges left on these drums. Instead, he will just throw the Pulverize out, back the other way, and one more Sleight of Fist there from Nisha. This was actually all set up again by the TA traps. Like, Husky ate like 3 traps worth of damage on the backside.
And it's been devastating, and it's not like you're just planting your sentries to take care of those traps here for now. It's Liquid being on top of things, even at little fortify play on the travel, it's just to ensure that they can come in and clean up on Gunner. 2 big core kills to pick up. They've got the blink up on Zai now as well, and now they are poking the Roche, but Mika's on his way. They're going to be able to take that Roche on, no problems. Double meld ready to go. Desolate her up, and now they should understand it's happening. They've got the kisses up soon. Whether or not they can actually fight in that area in time is another question, as they will go for the smoke.
Dude, Boxy just knows what's up. He's trying to break this smoke. He will be able to. Gets the blink away, and the Roshan down to 500 HP. It's going to go the way of Liquid. Walrus Punch does catch the Disruptor. The Gobble Up is there as well. And Luke tramples on through to pick off the Disruptor. And you get only 1 kill. It feels pretty rough here for Nouns if they manage to walk away with this full Roche. It looks like that will be what ends up happening here. Top lane. Oh, Zai blink dodge the Mortimer Kisses. Does he finish him off? Not in time.
These trap slows are atrocious. Like, it's been devastating for Nouns. Right as they try to engage, Yamsen's way too slow to kind of run up there. And they still find at least 1 kill, but it's not really the big kills they'd want off of punishing for Roche. It's Liquid now with a smoke out with Nisha here.
Boots of Bearing are done on the Primal Beast, by the way. I didn't quite notice that as he clears up bottom. He's in some trouble. Blinking here from Zai. He's going to pop the boots. He does have a BKB to play with. And it's a bait. He doesn't know. The Reaper Scythe coming through. Moose still alive with a BKB. There's going to be the Pulverize, but Nisha doing so much damage as well. Gunner here on the backside needs to get out as it's just completely collapsed on the slight chains. Hold him in place. Punished massively. And Insania still managed to survive a rotation from Yamsun as well. He didn't want a BKB for the kill, and now has to run away.
Yeah, it's always one of those things when you're playing against a Rubik as a Primal Beast and he steals the Pulverize. Look at that range to cast this. It's with the Aether Lens. It's always funny to see the Rubik kind of do that animation. It looks so dumb. It's like, how does this tiny little mage lift someone up? How does he learn how to lift from Primal Beast? Because I'm pretty sure for Primal Beast, it's not necessarily a spell. This huge thing is not doing spells. It's just using its muscles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Rubik steals the spell of using his muscles.
Yes. I mean, he's a wizard. What can you do?
That's one way to magic away fitness, I guess.
I could use some of that.
We all.
Well, it looks like Noun's really on the back foot now. These last couple of fights have hurt them tremendously as they are now 8k behind with the Roche going the way of Liquid. They have the Aegis to protect the TA, and she finishes up a BKB as well. So she'll have that on her second life if they even manage to get the first one. And I'm going to keep coming back to this Razor, man. He's still not able to get active enough in these fights. Like, he will just die to this TA if she gets, like, the Meld Strike on him. He doesn't have that armor item yet.
Yeah, he's also working towards SNY as well over any sort of straight armor.
Mid lane, the Glimpse.
Oh.
The Cookie might be able to save Moo. He just needs the BKB turnaround. He's looking for Nisha, but he won't get it. Now the Mortimer Kiss is out. Gunner in so much trouble. There's going to be... Ooh! The snowball save from Lelis. Beautiful into the Gobble Up. Sends him right back in. He ends up dying anyway, but 2 more for the side of Liquid.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
It looked alright. If they managed to kill off the Disruptor, I think Nouns would have felt a little bit better about that attempt. You know, maybe that fight doesn't break out the same way. You don't have to worry about the Glimpse. They still have Static Storm as well now for the high ground fight. Side of Nouns, this game is getting a bit dicey. It's all back to your point. Like, Yamsen's just not ready. Everyone else is. Gunner's been trying to make some plays despite only having really Yags to play with right now. Not even a BKB up on a snap, but he's been sacrificing a lot for some space here. And Yamsen can only farm so much as the Razor right now. We'll see whether or not the SNY is something he actually goes all in on. I feel like armor is just key. Just have some armor for the TA. Just negate some of that damage from the Meld and the Deso. And you might have a fighting chance in the front line. Because there are still good solutions here.
Oh man, they managed to get on top of the IO. The Cookie doesn't quite connect as Husky trying to survive. The telekinesis is there, and they will instead turn their attention on over to the Rubik. So they managed to get a pick off there. And Boxy, I mean, he's had a great game. He's pretty dang farmed, so taking him off the map is fairly important. That being said, Razor pops the Eye of the Storm, trying to get away. You got a BKB here, sir. As they go up onto the high ground, Nikke is still has that Aegis, still has that BKB to work with. They will reload out the Razor as Lelis once again has to give his life. Meanwhile, bottom, they do manage to find the Necrophos here. There's no Pulverize quite yet. He does have it now coming off cooldown as Gunnar comes in as well. Can they actually finish him off? They do, and now you gotta get out. Moo will TP Gunnar. His is available as well.
And they're trying to work the map as best as they can here on nouns. And
They're looking for Mickey. Oh, they managed to find him without a BKB. Beautifully played there from Mickey. The patience, just knowing that he's going to be here somewhere. Yeah, that is... They're just reading him so well now.
And they understand what nouns is trying to do here. For nouns side, at the least they've got the BKB up and running now on Gunnar, so he has a little bit more play for himself. He's still... But the one issue for nouns is they feel really under-leveled. Like, you're still 15 here on your Snapfire, 15 on Moo. Like, you'd want your level 18 kisses, and then you'd really need your 20 talent up on Gunnar. Because then they can start scaling onto the Snapfire as a huge core hitter as well, to kind of compensate for like the Razor just not being there at this point in the game. Liquid 32-21 after a little bit of a back and forth in the early part of the game. They have just hammered in their position on the map.
Oh,
and look at Mickey. Oh,
that was so unlucky. They smoked up and getting ready to head to the high ground, and just happens to get popped by Nisha at the best possible time as he just happened to see a courier. He was like, yeah, I can go for that. Ward is placed. Gunnar decides not to gobble up. Throw in Lelis there. Does not want to risk it.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
And Mickey's actually queued up the Aghanim Scepter, which, I mean, the Sonic projection is so good, especially from the one position where you can just split push, right?
yeah, I was going to raise that up. Like, he understands that they've got so much control on the map. The one thing that Mickey needs is just to show up in these fights, so... And we've seen how effective his traps are. Like, you're just not able to clear all of them out here from nouns. So he can just jump on any unsuspecting target, burn them down. There's nothing to really stop him as well for a defensive channel out. Again, you lack control on nouns, so pretty much when things go south, Mika should be able to bail out in most circumstances here.
Tower is under attack.
Oh, Blink in chains will catch the Snapfire. Gunnar pops the BKB. He's okay for the moment. The stun actually just barely misses on Insania. Ends up throwing a gobble up there anyway. And the Mortimer Kisses, they're looking to just finish off the Disruptor. And looks like they will, but it's going to cost you this Lelis Tusk as well. Gunnar in some trouble. Mickey snipes him, gets the Pike out as well. And meanwhile, on the backside, Yamsun is alone. He's going to have to BKB, try and turn here on to Nisha, but he's got Remnants to play with. And Moo, he looks at this, he's like, I have to go in. We got to get on top of something. But Yamsun, that BKB is about to expire and just get absolutely decimated by the TA anyway. And now back into the base. Husky tries to make it up onto the high ground. Moo trying to make a little bit of space, but they're grouping up, and it looks like Liquid just going to try and run him down. The Reaper sight that's still available, and the GG just comes out. They know this one is done and dusted.
It looked a lot better in game 2 for nouns. I think they managed to repair their draft. They played around these early times really well. But this time the sticking point was just a lot rougher of a start for Yamsun. I think it just didn't connect with the timings that we were seeing from everyone else.